Not a bad view for first thing in the morning. Already warm, but man, it's glorious. Well, that's our first hill out of the way, done nice and early. Not a particularly big one because Saddlescombe farm is kind of on a divide, on a saddle there. Hence, I'm assuming the name Saddlescombe. But we still have two more left today, one out of Pyecombe and then the one out of Southease. But next one should be fairly shortly. Quite nice to do them fairly early in the day when it's not too hot. And then the one out of Southease will be right at the end of the day. So, oh, and the one out of Housestead. So I lied, there's three. So we're just getting our first look at Pyecombe, where we're going to cross, and a very busy A23 that heads down to Brighton and Hove. Always hard on the senses to cross these main roads after being in the quiet for so long. We do cross a handful of them, but they're not super often. Maybe once every couple of days. So quite harsh on the senses for sure. Well, if this isn't a lovely way to make a vehicle brake and stop vehicles going up the South Downs Way, I don't know what is. Lovely wreaths of timber, beautiful flowers, wow. Love this. Usually they're just concrete bollards. This is really pretty. We're just climbing out of Pyecombe. You can see just sort of over that direction, that's where we came down through that chalk line. Just a small town village of Pyecombe, and then walking through Pyecombe golf course here, which I gotta say, this golf course is gonna keep anybody fit if they're walking it, because it's as much uphill and downhill as I'm doing here. And I got it fairly easy, so I wonder how many of them rent golf carts to do this, because not a bad hill, but definitely quite tough on the side. It's barely, not even 9 o'clock and it's already really hot out. Getting our first view of one of the windmills, not sure which one it is, so we'll check them out when we get over there. Now we just see the tops of the other ones through the trees. Well, I'm not sure if this is on private residence or if that's a visitor centre there, but I don't see a way to get in to see these windmills. So hopefully we'll get a better view of them from the top. Well, looking back down a Pyecombe, about a mile and a half behind us, just in that gap, you can still see Chinktonbury Ring way back there, which is near where we camped a couple of nights ago. So just up in the distance, over there, you can see Ditchling Beacon. So another mile to go by the looks of it. So I'm gonna head that way. Just stop to enjoy a snack and cool off a little bit because it's definitely warm. Let the dogs get some water. But yeah, forward progress. made it to the top. I can't remember if it's this or one of the other beacons. It's the highest point on this trail. Slight detour off the trail, but only about 100 yards. But now we've got beautiful views over the sea. Beautiful views over forest and farmland to the north. You can see the North Downs way in the distance. You can see back towards Chanctonbury Ring, and behind me we can sort of see where we're going to be going. So beautiful walk up, an amazing day so far, and now we're going down. I left Ditchling Beacon and a good portion of the people behind. Thankfully, it's very, very busy up there. But yeah, you can see the Brighton football field over there, or soccer field. A little bit of an eyesore if you ask me, but especially in amongst all the greenery and farm fields. But I guess they had to put it somewhere. Just turned off the ridge, which is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's really busy. Great views all around, but it was just getting a little monotonous at the same time. That's one thing I found on the Cleveland Way also, was just the same ups and downs on the cliffs. Now don't get me wrong, I think they were beautiful, but they tended to get a little samey after a while, and I like variety. So we've turned off from the ridge, dropping down to Housestein last mile and a half or so, before we climb back up onto the downs for more of the same. Crossing the 827 down here, which means we're getting pretty close to the sea. Probably have some really great views this afternoon, as we can barely see it today. But, looking forward to that. Walking through a section of the trail down to Housestein here. It's a little overgrown, to be honest. But I guess it's kind of on the edge of the field where the farmer's not running the crop or anything, but quite overgrown and no shade. Of course, we now got the sun, so I'm having to stop a lot more often to make sure the dogs have got enough water and not overheating. So while we've got this massive field of wheat, cattle, all to our left, we're currently walking through this just narrow but beautiful corridor of red and white and yellow and blue wildflowers. It just is very small, narrow section, but it just takes away from that monotony and adds a splash of color. It adds that life, that positivity to our to where we're at. So even though that's brown over there and just a few cattle, this yellow, these colors just add so much to this landscape that make it feel so much more alive. Got out of the sun, it's a beautiful grove of trees, where somebody And I'd like to know who. Well, there's whacking great hill in the middle of it. That meant we had to climb it. And here I thought I was done climbing until the other side of the A27. Yeah, well, that didn't happen. So, at least it was in shade, and it was short and sweet. I'd like to know who put it there. I want words with them. We're almost to Housestein Farm, and looking over there, I'm assuming we're going up over this hill and back down. See, the Southease is about 6 miles that way, so we should be camping somewhere up on that ridge tonight. At least that's the aim, so that tomorrow we don't have too many insane miles to get to Eastbourne. See if I can get any water out of that. Oh yeah, there we go. Just going by Housestein Farm, which looks lovely, but noisy. A little free advertising there. So now, I have full water bottles, dogs have got plenty of drink, and I have very, very wet shoes. There's no way to avoid that. Violent spray hits the ground. So, I guess that's okay. It's a hot day, so it's quite good actually. We're about to cross the A27 and put that busy road behind us after a little bit of a climb here. Whew. At least it's in the shade. This is a really exposed climb out of Housestein. Really hot, no shade. I was a little worried about the dogs, but stopped at this water trough for the cattle, which probably one of the cleanest water troughs for cattle I've ever seen. Put some water down, they didn't really want to drink, so that tells me they're actually doing okay. My dog's health and safety is the utmost priority when I'm out here, so if they're acting like they're doing okay and don't have to worry about drinking, then I think they're good. So we're gonna head on and almost to the top here. The water tank that we stopped at is active. The cows are in this field behind me. Watched them walk down, which was quite cool. They just sort of curious stared at us. Kept going way back up, however, they decided that we were an oddity and we were belonged in a circus, had to come say hi. Very curious, very interested. One was fine. When I started to get surrounded by 2 or 3, I was like, okay, I need to watch this a little bit. Bravest of 3 of them decided to get nose to nose with Kai and Cody, and at that point they said, nope, we're cow dogs, we're gonna do what we do best. Got them moving off just a little bit, and before I called them back and let the cows go about their business, but least I know my dog's still got it, it's livestock dogs. I don't know if you guys can hear me through this wind because it's pretty strong up here. We've made our second climb of the day. Looking back, that ridgeline was where we were at this morning, all the way along to, I think, Ditchling beacon over there. We can no longer see Checktonbury Ring, which is our first in a couple of days. So we're almost at the top of our second climb here. We'll be dropping down into Southease, probably by here in the next couple hours or so. Oh, so we're really struggling with the wind here. Looking down below, we've got Kingston near Lewes. Just over in the distance, we've got Lewes itself. Really cool castle there that I've been to check out once or twice. And this wind's got me a little concerned. My tent's not designed for the kind of wind we're experiencing up here. And I can't find a campsite that's kind of on the way or even close. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll figure it out when we drop down to the bottom. We'll see if we can find something either north or south that might have one spot for the night, even if I have to take the train to get there and come back in the morning. Well, we had to end up making a slight detour. The way we're supposed to go, big herd of cattle standing right at the exit gate after our experience earlier. Even though it was positive, it just goes to show exactly how curious these cows are. So decided to do a slight detour down to Rodmill and around to Southease that way. Still haven't quite made up my mind about what we're going to do, but I have a feeling we're going to go get the car, camp somewhere else, and then finish up tomorrow. In the end, I decided it was safer for my tent to go get the car. I was unable to find a campsite within a short distance of the trail for us to stay at for the night. We ended up camping at one of the small parking areas on the top of the South Downs, and it turned out to be a lovely night.